What's up, Dream Builder? Casanova here. And if you're somebody who you're in your first year, third year, even in your fifth year in real estate, and you're still trying to figure out how do you get this thing off the ground? How do you develop a business that's sustainable, but at the same time, it's scalable? We're going to talk about that today because that's a question that I get asked all the time. And here's what I'll tell you. I learned something early on in my career when it came to sales, just in general. And this one word right here, I think can help you to be able to get anything that you want.
What's up, Dream Builder? Are you someone who's interested in creating a life by your design through all things real estate? Well, I can assure you, you are in the right place. Join me, your host, Casanova Brooks. I'm an award-winning real estate agent and investor as we uncover the top tips, strategies, and the mindset of the top real estate entrepreneurs across the world. Stay locked in because we're about to go on a journey that will change your life.
When I first got into real estate, I was scared, right? I always tell my story, my journey, and I'm sure if you've not heard it before, I would encourage you, go check out some of my videos and you'll learn about what my journey was like getting into real estate, and also my first year when I got in, all of the hoops that I had to navigate through, but how I was able to quickly get success. And I'll tell you, it really boiled down to one word. When I think about what was the key ingredients for me? Well, here's what I'll tell you. For a lot of people, when they say, hey, I don't have the experience, or I don't have the sphere, I don't have the relationships, I don't have any money to be able to market my business, I don't have any source of quality leads, I'm not on a team. All of these things, then I understand that those can be challenges, right? Let me make no mistake about it. Those can be challenges, but they're only challenges in your minds because of the stories that you told yourself. So I'll tell you, and I'll give you an example of me. I have multiple accountability partners every single week. And I was talking to one of my brothers and I said, you know what, for a lot of us, we have certain strengths and we have certain weaknesses, and we don't really know, should we be trying to figure out our weaknesses in some points, or should we only be focusing on our strengths? So for me, I was equating that to, I've always been a big picture thinker, right? And if you're somebody who you're in real estate and you got aspirations to one day maybe own your own brokerage or even start your own team, I would imagine you're probably a big picture thinker. And so I read a book and it was called Rocket Fuel. And in the book Rocket Fuel, it talks about there's two types of people. There's visionaries and then there's also integrators. And a visionary, they're a big picture thinker. They can always talk about their vision and get somebody else to hop on board. But then you also need that integrator. And that integrator is going to be the person who carries out the vision. That integrator is going to be the person who's more of the conductor that keeps the trains moving, right? And so they break down the definition. I want to say it's within the first like 6 or 7 pages. It breaks down the definition of what exactly does it consider to be a visionary. And so they go into it and they talk about what I just said, but they also said a key part. And that key part said, the deeper that you get into the details, the more lost you become, right? As in, you just don't want anything to do with it. Now, I don't know if you're anything like me, but that's exactly who I've been. Right? And I don't want to say who I am, because that was something that was said to me, was stop talking about who you're not, because your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between who you are and who you say that you're not, right? It only takes what you give it. So for me, I was like, man, that made a lot of sense. He was like, because every time you start talking about, that you're not necessarily a details guy, you're a big picture thinker. If you know anything about the DISC assessment, I am a high D and I'm a high I. But all these other things that I said that I'm not was also bringing me towards, when it comes to the law of attraction, that also brought me towards who I wasn't, right? I was focusing on only the negatives. And so I took that and I said, I received that, right? And I'm going to work on that. And a lot of the times it's just the verbiage that we use. So if you're someone who you're telling yourself you're not a marketer, you're not a social media person, I hope you don't say you're not a relationship builder, because we're all relationship builders in some form. But if you say that you're not all of these things, that's what you're going to focus on, all of the lack of, right? But the biggest reason why I think, if you're talking about that one word that I think is what drove me to be successful, the word was energy. Right? Now, the energy was what I had, because when I first came out in real estate, I didn't know anything. I was just as inexperienced as any of my clients were. They didn't know and I didn't know. But I knew that I couldn't portray that to my clients. I knew that I couldn't tell them, hey, I'm new, I'm kind of scared. I know you're buying a new construction home. It's not what I've ever done before. I've never helped clients like this before, but if you would just give me a shot, I think I can make this work for you, right? Like, nah, they probably, the fact that they could have went with anybody, they probably weren't gonna use me, right? So what did I do? I portrayed energy, and that energy came out as excitement, willingness, and really resilience, right? Because when I would talk to somebody, here's what I would say. Like, they'd be like, hey, we're thinking about buying a home. Oh, absolutely. Well, congratulations, first off. That's an exciting move, right? I know that you're excited. What got you to now be in this position where you're thinking about buying a home? Oh, well, you know what? We are, just tired of renting, or my husband just completed his residency, or my wife just completed it. So now we think we're ready to start a family and we want to get a home first. We just got married. It's like, oh, those are all exciting things. So talk to me about, what exactly are you looking for in a home? Oh, well, we don't need anything too big because it's only us two for now. We want something like this. We want something that's in this location. Okay, great. Well, have you talked to a lender yet? Right? And oh, nope, we were just starting the process now. We just started looking on Zillow within the last week. So we figured might be good to talk to a real estate agent to figure out what's the market like. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a crazy market. Absolutely. I'm sure you've seen it in the news, or you maybe talked to a couple other people. Well, yeah, absolutely. After, right? So understand, first off, what did I just do? I showed excitement. I showed curiosity. I showed interest in them. Did I talk about me? Did I get to blabbing about how I'm the greatest real estate agent, or how I'm not the greatest real estate agent because I'm new to the business, but I'm so excited about them potentially working with me? I didn't say any of that. I just asked the questions. I wanted to learn more about them. Now I could see where the challenges are. The challenges are they haven't started talking to a lender yet. They don't really know what the market is like. That's why they're reaching out to a real estate agent. I know that ultimately I want them to be pre-approved before we go start looking at houses. So I set the right expectations, because I don't want to be going to show them a $400,000 house when they can only afford $300,000, right? So now that I've uncovered what exactly are the challenges that they have, now I'm excited to do what? Connect them with someone who can solve another piece of their puzzle. Yeah, well, that's great information. I've taken some notes here, but here's what I want to do. I have a lender who's one of the best lenders in the city. I actually have a couple of them just to give you options. Now, here's what I'll tell you. It doesn't matter who you go with. My whole goal is to make sure that you are educated and that you feel comfortable throughout the process. And the way that I do that is making sure that not only me, but I have the right partners that are going to be able to help us. And that's a title company that'll help us get the loan closed and the house closed. Also a lender that'll obviously help us get the deal funded, and with home inspection. So all of these things I have you, trust me. But what I want to do first off, just to make sure that we're on the right path, is I want to connect you with a couple lenders and make sure that you know what you're pre-approved for, that you know what you're qualified for, and then from there we can go start looking at homes based off of what you want. Is that okay with you? Right? So again, what I did was I portrayed energy, and now they've given me what the challenges are. I just have to solve them piece by piece by piece. I don't have to know everything up front, which is where I think a lot of real estate agents struggle, because they're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna know this. Oh my God, I'm not gonna know this. You don't have to, because they might not want you to know that, right? Not to say that they don't want you to know a lot of things, but what I'm saying is that might not be a problem that they're looking to have solved right now. So I want you to understand, the nugget out of this is, the next time that you're thinking, oh man, I don't know something, you don't need to. Ask the questions, figure out what their challenges and their problems are, and then you figure out how you can solve those. That's the way that I was able to be successful and do 46 deals and $8 million in volume. That's the way that I've been able to teach my clients how to do 30 deals in their first year, how to do 10 deals in their first 6 months. Reason being is because they ask the questions and they continue to follow up, and they continue to solve more problems. The more problems you can solve, the more money that you'll make. So hopefully this has been helpful. If you like any of this content, do me a favor, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below. Let me know, do you disagree, or what are some of the things that you've done to be successful early on in your career, or even kickstart your career if you were later in it and you just felt like you hit a couple lulls. But remember, no matter what, DreamNation, in the dream we trust, but we gotta take action. Why? Is because if we don't, that dream that we had, and we all have a dream, it will only merely be a fantasy. That's all for this one. We'll catch you on the next one.